Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I studied it a while back as well. It's a graph of your risk averseness and your how much you have in terms of your capital or how much cash flow you have, right?
Well,
Um,
yeah, increase in wealth isn't proportionate to increase in happiness, basically. We kind of know that, right?
yeah.
Above a certain point, you've got to get to a point first.
I'm gonna kind of argue with you on that though. I read this, and I didn't read, but I actually watched this documentary again on this real estate broker. The guy is basically he does a ton of real estate. He does a ton of insurance in the U.S. in New York. His name is John Henry Stiles, and he talks about how the $70,000 a year is the tipping point of where people stop getting happy in proportion to how much they earn.
Right?
And because we do know that, I mean, when you're talking about
That's
class,
my
when you're talking
point,
about,
right?
yeah, so he talks about $70,000 a year, and till you get to that point, you're doing what you have to do. It's after that depending on everyone's lifestyle, everyone has their own particular style, in terms of what they want to live, vacations, clothes, cars, houses. But that's when you start worrying about your next meal kind of thing. That was my that was what I kind of took from it, because there are people wondering, living on a daily uh,
Yeah.
daily structure in terms of finances, and there are people living in generational uh, financial literacy. So what's your take on that?
Now, look, more money makes you happy up to a point, and that point is different for everyone. So when you are on the breadline, so to speak, or you're living hand to mouth, if you get to a situation where you're now living month to month, I mean that's nirvana, right? You think that's happy, but then you move the goal again, and you move to year, and then you move the goal again. And for some people, you get to a point quite quickly. Let's say it's $70,000 a year. I don't know, and then it's okay because more wealth then doesn't necessarily lead to greater happiness. So you save that money and invest it, and you secure your future, or else you someone else and you need $1 billion to have that feeling, right? Because that's how billionaires are created. They need to just keep going and going and going until some don't stop. But for most of us, it generally holds true. Once you get to a certain level, then the rest is just jam. And people think, oh, but I'm going to buy a mansion, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to buy an island, I'm going to buy a country. Well, you don't. No, no, you don't do that, right?